Welcome back, and this is Talking Points, our discussion program that looks at issues and also politics in St. Lucia. We're trying to give you a balanced perspective of the issues that concern us all. And before break, we wanted to ask Mr. Cleary about the jobs. This is the linchpin, this is the selling point of all the projects. Forget about it would seem, forget about conservationists, forget about the fact that, you know, we have heritage and issues of culture that needs to be considered, but it seems, you know, jobs, as long as we get the jobs, then everything is all right.
I don't agree. I don't think that this is a policy of this government. I think all the areas are given, due diligence is given to all the aspects, the concerns that is sometimes because it is not stated upfront, that there is the perception maybe that the only interest of the government is job creation. That I believe is key. We cannot deny that you have an area, we have an area, and you see the sad thing about it is that a lot of the issues, some of the things that the government is currently implementing are not things that the Labour Party did not have some link to. We'll talk about the DHS project. The understanding that the genesis of that started with the Labour Party. You spoke earlier, mentioned about the Dolphin Park. Again, there's the link to it. So then you ask yourself, is it that these issues are being raised now simply because we want to make a political issue out of it? Or are we genuinely concerned about, because our survival is critical, and we have a myriad of problems in our society. The whole question, we talk about crime on a daily basis, the abuse of children and women. And a lot of these things, maybe, I have no statistics to prove, but could be linked to the fact that people are desperate, they're unemployed, and probably they are venting. So it is important, and I think, again, that was one of the campaign issues of the United Workers' Party, the creation of jobs, the area of developing the South. The focus of this government basically is to focus on the development of the South. We know the congestion that is taking place in the North. We have a lot of area unused land that is idle. And that is one of the focus of the development of the party.
Mr. George, you were talking about studies that had been done, you know, on Maria Island about the endemic species, etc. And that is in reference to what Mr. Cleary had said, that he didn't have any, you know, specific information about her. But how much emphasis should we really place on this when we have some of the issues that Mr. Cleary has raised? Because, you know, jobs are needed. There is that economic aspect of it that must be considered.
Of course, Jerry, of course. But you see, the scare tactic that the UWP and Mr. Cleary are using is to say that we cannot have jobs if we do not sacrifice these things. We cannot have jobs if we do not go and compromise the protected areas that we have. And that is not true.
Not saying that.
We can achieve balanced, sustainable development if we put our minds
and that's
to it.
Where we have
if there is a level of consultation, because anybody would have told the Prime Minister that development of joining a causeway to Maria Island is crazy, is ridiculous, is incredulous, is destructive. Anybody, if he had reached out and consulted with any organization out there in terms of conservation, they would have told him so. But you see, that is the problem that we run the risk of when you do not consult. And government is there, there are people within the government, with the Ministries of Agriculture, the Ministry of Forestry, where you used to work, the Ministry of Sustainable Development, that would have advised, Ministry of Fisheries, that would have advised the Prime Minister against projects like that, right? And so we cannot believe that just because we want to see development and we want jobs, there's a risk of jobs being lost as well. In fisheries, when you look at that project, you want to create this causeway, there are a lot of jobs at risk as well because of the way things like the Makote mangrove and that entire coastal shelf provides, and you know, Jerry, that the largest fish landing site on island is at Beaufort, and there's a reason for that, because of that natural environment that you have there. So
Are these about the same concerns that you have with regard to the Dolphin Park in Pigeon Island? Because, you know, the information that has come out is that the SLP did approve, or at least had an eye on the
Anjabet, which is a property, down in just north of Canary.
Right.
And
so they had given the go clear.
Yes, and apparently there was an approval in principle that was given towards the project somewhere around July of 2013. Since then, now this project had never really been gotten out, I think, until the budget, in terms of it was announced as the project in the budget. But it never went past, in terms of the approval phase, in terms of the Development Control Authority looking at it, or anything of the sort. So that is not to say that if it was a project then, we should still have opposed it then, right? When it came up to the public and the public knowledge. And since then, what has happened, Jerry, is that there's a lot more knowledge in terms of cetaceans in captivity, keeping of whales and dolphins in captivity, thanks to movies like The Cove and Blackfish. And we as a society have to look honestly about that issue, right? In terms of how we feel about that issue, because we still have issues in terms of how we treat blackfish and the killing of blackfish in our waters. And we have to look at that and be objective about it. I agree. We cannot be hypocritical about the issue. In the same way we cannot be hypocritical about killing turtles on the beaches, right? But then the other issue that you have there, Jerry, is that you are looking to put a dolphinarium, a dolphin park, within a conservation area, on a coral reef that exists at Pigeon Island. You risk the destruction of the island itself because of where you want to actually create that development in terms of the land side of it as well. So I cannot see what is so difficult to understand that this would certainly, that on two counts, we should not be going forward with this project. On the count that this is a historic site which has deep value and meaning for the history of St Lucia, and this dolphin park does not fit into that at all, by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm telling you, Jerry, the other thing about, we talk about loss of jobs. Sandals Grand brings a scuba boat across to that site every day, 3 times a day. There are people right there who operate a scuba activity off one of the Pigeon Island beaches every day. Just this week, they had about 60 persons, coming across and going down under the water, seeing the natural environment there. So you're telling me that those jobs don't matter? Those jobs don't matter. But you want to push the dream that you may have had in the 1980s or the 1990s, and believe that it is still a relevant dream in today's world, is unfair and undemocratic.
So are you saying that if it were not situated at Pigeon Island, the SLP will be supportive of it at any other place in St Lucia?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay. I'll give you a chance to answer that question when we return.